How's it going, everyone? I'm Sir James, coming at you guys with another custom lightsaber review. This time we have Sabine Wren's lightsaber as seen in the live-action Ahsoka show. If you've never seen Star Wars Ahsoka, this is more of a continuation from Star Wars Rebels, but of course taking place years later, and now in a live-action format. Well worth the watch, and Season 1 is fully complete, with Season 2, from what I've heard, in development. Now, some of you might be in the comment section right now going, wow, this guy reviews lightsabers and he's calling this Sabine's lightsaber? What? It's clearly Ezra's. To kind of little recap here, at the end of Star Wars Rebels, he gave his lightsaber to Sabine Wren and tasked her with an important mission. While Star Wars Ahsoka is taking place years later, Sabine Wren has since modified the original design and of course has undergone training with Ahsoka Tano. And there's a little bit more info that kind of takes place in the show, but again, watch it, well worth it. So here's a closer look at the hilt. Now, this particular lightsaber was obtained through Ultimate Works, however, was purchased through the pack store, which I'll put a link down below. Ultimate Works has always done a great job, and it's been a while since I reviewed a lightsaber through them, so I figured now would be the perfect time, as during the month of December, I was reviewing a lot of the sabers from the Ahsoka show. Here is the top. The control box here is a 2-button setup, so you have the upper button and lower button. This switch doesn't really move or do anything, that's just for looks. There is the emitter. Got the design here. There was one that I reviewed in the past that kind of forgot this important detail, but thankfully it's still there. Of course, you got your D-ring. Here's the other side. So obviously note here, this one doesn't have that particular marking there, while on the other you have it with those 2 dots. There was a couple different versions that were used on screen, but this is the more accurate one that was used as far as the show prop from what I could recall. And if you need access to the internals, you're going to go ahead and unscrew this pommel section right here, which we'll get to in just a moment. Now, if you are new to the channel and are unfamiliar with Ultimate Works, to kind of do a little recap here, or a refresher if you will, Ultimate Works is a pretty good company to go with, especially if you're trying to get your first lightsaber and you're wanting to build a collection, and you're also wanting to perhaps maybe save a little bit of money as well. Now, basically the ideal way of going about this is, if you are a first-time customer with Ultimate Works, is to buy a fully built lightsaber. And of course you have your choices if you want the Profi board or the Asteria board. Now keep in mind that unlike some other companies where the Profi boards come with all kinds of amazing Saber fonts, their Profi board by default comes with the basics as far as I remember, unless if it's changed since then. And then it's up to you to kind of fill in those blanks with Saber fonts and so forth. But basically the ideal way to go about it is to buy a fully installed one. You could even choose to get it with the blade or without the blade. And then let's say later on you wanted to buy another lightsaber through them. Instead of buying a fully built one, you could instead opt in and select the option called pre-kit. Now the pre-kit option is 1, way cheaper, and 2, what's great about it is that you can simply take the chassis off your existing lightsaber that you've bought already, like this, and you can pop just this piece into your new hilt, assuming you got it as a pre-kit, and you are good to go. So it's a nice way to save and build a little bit of a collection if you want, and which, by the way, this is what the Profi version of the chassis will look like. The battery is 100% removable. If you wish to get access to the board, you would also have to remove the battery firsthand. There is the back. You could use the programming if you want to have these things light up on the side there. I choose not to really use it, but it's completely optional, even though you're not really going to see it when it's all in the hilt anyways. And these are the connection points that will connect to the pre-existing piece on the inside. And then all you need to do is to simply line the pieces up, and you just do a little bit of a push until you see it pop into place, and you are ready to go. Now, on occasion, do keep in mind that with the chassis, when you put it in, sometimes you might find it where the top button might be changing the Saber fonts instead of activating it. To fix that, you just undo the chassis and flip it 90 degrees and put it back into place, and there you go, because it's swapped around. That's pretty much it. And you screw this back on and you are ready to go. Now, the other thing I'm going to go ahead and mention before we actually put in a blade is you might be noticing when you first get this particular lightsaber, there was a piece added to it. Now, right now, this is how I have it, which is to mostly match how it is from the screen grabs that I got from the hilts. Now, when you first get this, there is this extra piece that is attached to the body. And then, of course, this upper piece would be attached to here, held into place with the little screw there. Now, I was trying to figure out exactly why was this piece on here, because it didn't really make any sense, nor the instructions say anything. So I believe why this is in there is for probably this reason. And I might be wrong, but I might be correct at the same time. Without this piece, you can still technically screw in a blade and have it holding with the retention screw right here. Though, to be quite honest, there's not too much gripping onto the blade, which means that if you wanted to duel, let's just say that it's not going to be in the best option, and you might find that you may be having difficulties using it to duel with. So I believe what this particular piece does, not only does it add some more extension to it where the blade could be more fully secured, but I believe this piece will also allow you to use your saber if you wanted to, you know, fight another person, to have a little saber duel and whatnot. If it's not the reason, then ignore what I just said, but I'm pretty sure that's exactly why it's there. But let's go ahead and insert a blade. Now, I'm also using something brand new in my videos for the very first time while I drop the tool here, the little hex tool. I'm actually using a brand new camera filter. And by brand new, I don't mean as in it's new in the markets, but it's new for me. And what I'm using, it's called a Dream FX filter. Now, normally when I'm using my camera, you probably already know how the blades look with the NeoPixels, and sometimes I'm waving it in here using the reflection of the arcade cabinet. But the lightsabers blades should look different now. And if you do like it, please let me know, because obviously feedback helps me as it helps you. But it should give it a little bit more of a, I guess, somewhat of a realistic look to it. So it's got a really cool effect. I was kind of tripped out by it. But anyways, I am actually now using that piece, if you're curious. But that's what it looks like if you're going to go ahead and use it with the blade. But like I said, you don't have to use it. That's completely optional, but it just adds a bit of extra security to the blade itself. As I'm going to be spinning this around here, and on the off chance that I hit something, at least I won't put too much stress on the hilt itself. Let's go ahead and see if this is ready to go. We are ready to go. So let's go ahead and turn this off. Now, as far as the Saber fonts that I have on here, I'm using the Kyberphonic font package. That's all related to the live-action Ahsoka show. So everything that was featured in the show, as far as lightsabers and whatnot, I have on here. If you're interested in those Saber fonts, I'll have a link to Kyberphonic's website in the video description down below. And other than that, I did add Gesture Control, which will be the twist on and twist off. And I believe that's the only thing I added for gesture controls. I don't think I added swing. But let's go ahead and activate. But let's start with the proper font first.
Do you know Ezra Bridger? He's my friend.
I've heard of him. Pretty sure his name was Jabba the Hutt at one point, right? So let's go ahead and activate. Boom. So yeah, let me know how the blade looks using this new filter. It almost looks like I'm using a video editing software. I'm not. It's just a filter on the camera. As far as the hilt goes, it feels really good in the hand. And the control box, where I'm kind of gripping around, is not sharp at all. Like everything has been dulled down, so you're not gonna like, you know, cut up your hand or anything like that. Sometimes that happens with hilts, but it works here too. And then see here. Nope. There you go. I thought I had quotes on here, but maybe I guess I didn't. But yeah, that was font number 1 for Sabine Wren. Let's go ahead and pretty much go down the list until we get back to Sabine Wren. Huang. This is during that like training moment when he was training with Ahsoka, so that's why there's no like crazy hum. This is more of you know, the safety feature. I always forget that with the Asteria boards that Ultimate Work uses, like the board is kind of at a slant, so sometimes the gesture controls are a little wonky when that happens. Usually gesture controls work great when the board is flat, but you know,
Ezra?
It is what it is. We got Ezra's Saber font here. Next.
Balin's skull.
We got Balin's skull. There we go. That nice orange glow. I mean, I could still do this. You're still gonna get. My camera might not be capturing it in the full extent as you would see it with a human eye, but I think the filter still makes it look nice. Oop. There you go. I was kind of going into a color cycle there. To activate color cycle, you just press like the top, then the bottom, or bottom, then top. I usually get those confused around, and then of course you can cycle through the colors.
Shinati.
We got Shinati. I got my dog Leia over here, so I'm trying not to go too crazy with the saber swings because last thing I want to do is, you know, injure my dog. Rock. So I actually want to get this Inquisitor's saber. I don't know who made.
Anakin.
No, go back.
Wrong.
There you go. I don't know who's made his saber. If you know any company that made the Inquisitor's saber featured in Ahsoka, let me know because I would like to get that one and review it. Oh, there you go. And I like his saber fonts. It's fierce and awesome. In fact, listen to it again.
Anakin.
Nope, wrong one.
Wrong.
There you go. Oh yeah.
Anakin.
Now we're on Anakin. This should be the Anakin light side. Well, like I said, the saber is definitely comfortable. Like I said, because the board's slanted, just to control it's a little weird.
You lack conviction.
There we go. That was one of my favorite quotes from the show. And of course, it was like one of those cool little scenes with the transition between the two versions of the character. But as far as the font packages from Kyberphonic, there's a lot of options and a lot of quotes. So there's music tracks, so you're pretty much getting a really good deal out of it.
Come on, Snips.
And now we have Ahsoka, young version. In the early days of the Clone Wars, where she had the green sabers, or green saber, before she had, you know, two sabers. I didn't add any quotes, so if you were curious how come I'm not activating any quotes for gestures, I didn't add them in there. I just kind of kept it simple for this review.
Ahsoka.
And this is a later version. In this case, when she retrieves her sabers, or when Anakin gives her the sabers back, and he's like, "Oh, I made some improvements," and thus they were the blue blade. During the flashback scenes. But yeah, I just keep like messing around and seeing if like anything comes loose over time. But everything's like rock solid on this hilt, to be honest.
Morgan Elsbeth.
Morgan Elsbeth. So let's see how this one looks. I'm hoping the effect will look better with the filter now. If not, then here's how it looks with the reflection off the arcade cabinet here. This one has that was cool. That was got a little trippy strobe effect, so. Oop. And now last but not least.
On directory not found.
Nope, that's not the last one. That one was for the battery indication, which I didn't add something proper to the coding, so that's why it said that. But now we have last.
Ahsoka Tano.
Which technically was font number 1, but I went to Sabine first. But yeah, I mean, the saber is just, it's awesome. I mean, to be fair, Ezra already had a very nice saber design, and the changes that Sabine Wren to it, while subtle, is still paying homage to the original design, but adding maybe some improvements, you know, for her taste and stuff like that, especially with the added section in the emitter. I do actually like. And the little tidbit down here in the front as well, just under the control box, and the addition with over here with the adjustments for the D-ring. I mean, at least I think the D-ring was adjusted. I have to go back. Sometimes I can't remember everything on top of my head. But yeah, Ultimate Works did a really good job with this one. And with the addition of this extra piece here, especially for holding the blade, whether or not you wanted to duel and stuff, definitely adds a lot of extra stability, making that much usable. But overall, I think this is a fantastic design. I think if there's one thing that I would like to get done on this hilt, and this is just personal taste myself, is I want to get some weathering done on this one, because it's too clean. Obviously, it's not a brand new built lightsaber, so it's been around, it's seen some action, it's been thrown in the dirt and all that kind of stuff. So Yeah, a little bit of weathering on this I think will make this pop even more. But I'm sure there's weathering services out there through other companies. But overall, if you're looking for something to add to your collection and you already have Ultimate Work Hilts in your collection, this is a great choice. Like I said, I'll have a link to this in the video description down below. Unfortunately, I have no form of discount codes, but you could always check their website to see if they have any kind of promos. Usually during the holiday season, they tend to have some kind of deal here and there. But overall, let me know what you guys think about this in the comment section down below. And also let me know how the...
Do you know Ezra Bridger? He's my friend.
Yes, I know. You said that earlier already. But also let me know how the filter looks to you guys. I mean, do the lightsaber blades look better? Does it look better with the light on than off? I don't know. But let me know in the comment section down below. Until then, there you go. You're making me look bad. Until then, I'll see you guys on the next review, which, by the way, my next review is going to be uploaded specifically on January 30th. The reason why is because that's going to be my birthday. So I'm going to be turning, next week, 34 years old. I may not look like I'm in my 30s at all, but sadly I am. You know, usually people will lie about their age, but yeah, I'm going to be 34 next Tuesday. And so I'm going to be doing a review of a double-bladed lightsaber. Until then, I hope you look forward to the review. And by the way, if you're going to Disneyland this upcoming weekend for the Ahsoka meetup, I'm actually going to be there myself because I'm going to be celebrating my birthday, well, a couple days early at the Disney park. And I hope to see you there. If not, then may the Force be with you, and I'll see you guys in next week's review. Have a great one.